Listen to this. One of the world's biggest tech stock investors cannot make new investments. Billionaire Saudi Prince Al Walid bin Talal still cooling his heels at the Ritz-Carlton Riyadh more than 2 weeks after he was arrested in an anti-corruption purge that some are saying was just an excuse by the current Saudi leader to consolidate his own power. Al Walid's firm, Kingdom Holdings, had planned to borrow $1 billion for new investments, but new reports say that loan is on ice. Well, perhaps the Saudi prince knew that sleepless nights were in store, because right before he was arrested in his desert tent, Eric Schatzker over at Bloomberg said he was seen reading this book, While We Sleep, Unlocking the Power of Sleep and Dreams. Since then, sales of this book have spiked so dramatically, it debuted at number 15 on the New York Times bestseller list. Here in a Fox Business exclusive is the author of that book, UC Berkeley neuroscience and psychology professor Matthew Walker. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you, Liz. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's not every day that an author sees his book in a billionaire's office, which is exciting enough, but Prince Al Walid had it with him in his tent in the middle of the desert right before his arrest. What did you think when you heard that?
Well, when I read it in the story, of course, I was somewhat surprised, but in truth, perhaps I think what it does is underscore how universal this thing called sleep actually is. It transcends national boundaries. It transcends cultural boundaries. It seems to be common across the globe. Every human being sleeps. Every living species actually sleeps. So I think that that transcendent nature of interest perhaps isn't surprising after all.
Every living being I know is having trouble sleeping. In fact, you personally call the loss of sleep the greatest public health challenge. Really, Professor? More than, say, antibiotic-resistant superbugs or avian flu? Why is this so horrible right now?
Well, there is a global sleep loss epidemic underway, and those words are the World Health Organization's and also the CDC, not my own. We also know that every disease that is killing us in the developed world has causal and significant links to a lack of sleep. So the pernicious erosion of our sleep time and how many different diseases that it impacts makes that statement of it being one of the greatest public health challenges that we now face in the 21st century, I think both valid and scientifically provable.
Well, on this list of the reasons we have lack of sleep, well, I would say I'm usually anxious, but the bigger problem is now people, when they go to turn over, they grab their phone or their tablet and they look at it. That messes everything up. Caffeine and alcohol. But I'm more interested now in getting your suggestions as one of the premier experts on this. And we put some up on the screen. There are a whole bunch in the book, and it's incredible. But as we put these up, you can see that there are among them things like go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time every day, even on the weekend, or even, for example, if you've had a bad night's sleep.
That's right. I think if there is one tip I could sort of offer you, it is going to bed and waking up at the same time. Regularity is key. So even at the weekend, you will have this tendency to drift forward in time, go to bed later, wake up later. That means that when you get to Sunday night, it's especially difficult to fall asleep earlier. You'll feel miserable in the morning. It's called social jet lag. So keeping it regular, keeping it dark. We are a dark, deprived society in the modern era. And you need darkness to release a hormone called melatonin to get you into healthy timed sleep. And then staying away from alcohol and caffeine key. Alcohol is perhaps the most misunderstood drug. It simply is sedating your brain, and it wakes you up throughout the night, and it blocks your dream sleep.
Professor, it's great stuff. And let's all remember that there is a huge amount of money that is lost from lack of sleep at many companies. And as a business network, that is crucial. The book is called, not just the billionaire has it, we've got it right here, While We Sleep. And it is by the UC Berkeley professor from my alma mater, Matthew Walker. Good luck to you. Thank you very much, Professor.